This is the American Forces Vietnam Network.
Hardcore military.
Good morning!
Vietnam was going to be very different from the United States of America, except for all the beer cans and the barbecue. It was.
Attack! Attack! Get the fuck out of the hole! Move!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 76 of the Broken Arrow Events podcast, the Good ViBAEtions Operation Greene Lightning recap podcast. All right, so we are all remote because we don't want to see each other anymore. Tired of looking at each other, but we got a few guys on for this episode. I'm going down the list here on Discord. I got Alex Stramp, so say what's up, Alex.
What's up, Alex?
After him, Joe Sabia, say what's up, Joe.
Staff does not get paid.
Mark Strasburger, say what's up.
Hello, hello.
Mr. Randy Diamond.
Hello, everybody.
And last but not least, Stephen Polak.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right, and I'm Liam if you haven't figured that out by now. Okay, so let's get to the nitty-gritty here of Greene Lightning and how much we loved it and how much we hated it. But first, I want to just make it clear to everyone listening and to all the people that attend BAE events, and I thought this was like a known thing, that it's a purely volunteer effort. No one on staff is getting paid. If anything, staff usually pays over the odds from the ticket price just to kind of get things done. And it comes down to something that we mentioned a lot regarding the base is we do all this because we want to. That's it, hands down. Any guys have a input on that?
I would
the
say,
game, baby.
without a doubt, we pay more than the attendee for things like the Lister bag or the baseball net, the catching net.
Yep.
So, like, we go out of pocket to contribute to the group. So, if anything, we're spending more, excuse me, than the average attendee.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we all pulled out of pocket to get those extra ridge poles to make sure that all the tents had enough poles
Yep.
and ridges.
Yeah, not to mention most of the months I'm paying out of pocket for the tent storage. So I'm
And
paying,
even for gas and tolls for people that went, excuse me. Wow, that Pedialyte went down the wrong pipe. It also includes like gas and tolls for people like Polak, who went 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 hours out of his way to go to the storage unit twice, like
Yep.
in the opposite direction than the venue.
yeah. I mean,
So that's also a factor too.
and then you look at somebody, I think the extreme, Ferrucci, who
Right.
he put in a lot of money for the cause, just to get things done. His big contribution, and I hate saying big contribution like it's the only thing he does, but he put money in towards all the prizes for the Power Base sweepstakes.
The most visible contribution, I
Right.
guess. would
Yeah, I
be-
get, yeah. But not to mention, think about it. He didn't even go to the event, and he still drove to Sully's to get that trailer, haul that with tolls down to bring all that equipment up to the event, and he ended up not even being able to stay. So, yeah. So when we got feedback that people are saying, "Hey, I paid to be here, and staff gets paid. I shouldn't have to, help clean up." That kind of hurts. It actually hurt a lot. I think a lot of our feelings seeing that. So just want to make it clear. I know we talk about this a lot. It's just a reminder. So if even if this guy's not listening and you know who it is, or your buddies feel that way, just remind them, like, no, we're all in this as a passion project. It's all for the cause. It's all volunteer work.
If I may, if you're a longtime listener, you know that eventually we're going to get to the highs and lows of the event. I would say that hearing about that feedback was my low. I was just finished watching all the band videos. I had just finished editing it into a beautiful montage. And then I get this kick to the fucking balls oh yeah, the staff gets paid. Why should they be bossing us around? And now it's like, that's the worst. That's my low. I'm getting it out of the way now. I'm calling dibs on that for my low.
Okay, we'll save it for them then. We'll go back to that.
No, I'm getting it out of the way now. I'm saying it, and then I take a pass next time.
Okay. So moving on. Let's talk about the event. Let's talk about Operation Greene Lightning and the bottom line. Was the event a success? So before we go around table, I want to say from Broken Arrow's point of view and the producer's point of view, I would say yes, it was. Just because we had so many new guys, and I think we left a really good impression to all those attendees that attended for the first time, that came to the event, experienced what we do for the first time. I'm hoping that we retain at least half of them. I think numbers wise and the ROE, the return on investment, the ROI, I guess ROE is a different thing. But it wasn't, I would say we're closer to the black than red in terms of Broken Arrow's point of view. So yeah, I would say it was overall a success. I think next year we can build on this and be twice as successful. So I want to hear from like Paulak, because I think he was with me behind the scenes a lot during this whole process. So I want to get his feedback.
Yeah, it was an interesting perspective for me for the event, because this being my first time as squad leader, not squad leader, I should say, and in the officer camp was a weird thing, because when I was a squad leader previous 2-3 years, I was very boots on the ground with all of the new guys. Like just last year at Ben Het, I had 2 brand new guys that traveled 8 hours to come to the event, and getting their perspective was very different than getting the perspective of Liam and it being an officer country. So I would say from my perspective, when I did get to talk to the Joes and the new guys, absolutely standout success. When you get to the administrative side of things, there was a lot of challenges that we had that, again, being this is my first time in officer country, I'm not sure if it's a constant, if it has been that way, how much it's improved. I do see from the base staff side, there has been more challenges in the past and fewer challenges in the past that we dealt with this year. So I think it was a weird year for us as like a staff group, but in an overarching from an attendees perspective, absolute success, but definitely things we got to polish off on our end.
So Steve, the fact that you mentioned officer country a few times, that it was weird, or the biggest issue was there was no one in officer country.
Right.
The people that were either there wasn't that many people that would be in officer country, first off, and they were just too busy. There was no time to do anything.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, I miss like the sitting under the canopy thing. I just remember Mueller taking a nap under there last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that's gonna be me this year. And I think I sat under there literally at the end when we were packing up. I took a 2-minute break. Yeah.
Yep.
So it was weird. But
yeah,
still, I enjoyed it, and I think overall it was a solid success. Even from an event standpoint, things that we need to get hammered out anyway.
Yeah, and that's, I think, ultimately, like, I'm looking at from BAE as an entity's point of view. Yeah, it was a success, but there was a cost for the core staff guys that were there from Sunday to Sunday. Not to take away from the other guys who showed up later on, but like there was, in my opinion, there was a clear like split between the guys who kind of took on everything and were just in it the whole time, versus the guys who showed up later and were like, hey, we have a task, I'm gonna go do it, which was great, because it took, like, as guys started showing up staff wise, it did take a load off of a lot of that 4 or 5 guys that were there from Sunday to Sunday, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Anybody else? What do you got? Like Strasburger, you were there from the get-go. Saber, you were there from the get-go.
Strass, you got anything? All right, I guess maybe he muted, but yeah, I was telling a new timer, someone that was new to us for the first time, on pack up day, like, yeah, staff didn't have time to blink, especially the Sunday crew. Every time there was downtime for the Joes, the staff was working tirelessly to get more water, make sure the showers are set up, or make sure that the kitchen is clean, make sure that we have people that are cooking in the kitchen and know what to do and how to cook it and all this kind of stuff. We were just working nonstop to make sure that the next phase of the event would go off without a hitch. And the fact that we kept it kind of behind a curtain in a way, that this person's like mind was blown when I told him that, says a lot about us, that we weren't frantic, to the public. We weren't like, yeah, okay, so it's a busy kitchen, to use the metaphor, but nobody really saw around the corner how the sausage was made. So that was kind of cool, because they're not watching us like stress and bitch to each other. Like, we kind of kept it separate. We had our little bitch sessions in officer country. We didn't get to enjoy the shade or sit down while doing it. It was just like, let me vent to you while we're walking these 30 yards, because that's the only time we could get it in, was doing that. So
it was in passing.
yeah.
It would be in passing to do something else.
There was no time to do anything, and I was fucking bummed that this was like the first chance that I would be able to bring my Chase Lounge, like Mueller usually has. And I was so pissed when I couldn't get it into my car at the storage unit. And in a way, it's like I wouldn't have had time to use it anyway. So, and there was so much stuff in my tent that I packed up on Sunday, like, I don't need to bring this next year because I didn't use it this year. Or I've been looking for this all fucking week. Where was it? It was at the bottom of the pile underneath the thing with the stuff and the other crap that I didn't get to use. So it just constantly busy. It just nonstop. It felt like work, where there's just more shit piled on your desk and the inbox is overflowing and the outbox is like empty.
Oh yeah, and I made like sacrifices. Like, all right, I'm not doing that because it's just too much. I'll move on to the bigger fish to fry. You know?
Like, to a point of physical pain. My feet are still healing, because as much as I was a hard ass about people changing their socks and using foot powder, guess who didn't have time to change his wet socks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. And I have to say, like, it's a good point you made, Joe. Like, I think we really didn't make it a thing. Like, we just like kind of kept on going. When John showed up, he kind of just fell seamlessly into whatever those guys had going on. Like that kitchen, the guys doing the kitchen crew, we kind of just had a rotation. And John said, he's like, oh yeah, I got up to go do the hot dogs, and I already came in and Liam was doing them already. And I was like, yeah. And there were times where I came in to do grilled cheeses and Strasburger had the grilled cheeses done. And it was just like, we all kind of, as a collective, knew what needed to be done. And it was like, yeah, I'll go do it. I'll go take on that task while someone else does something or rests for 5 minutes, So I have to say that group really, it was like seamless. It really was.
And I'm glad that you mentioned John too, because I had a little heart to heart with him at the storage unit on Sunday morning. Like, my personal goal for this week is to be more like you. And I told him that straight up. Like, he's I'm gonna be careful because I'm gonna say the wrong word. He's unflappable. If there's an obstacle or barrier, okay, let's see how we can get around it. It's not the end of the world to him. And I told him I want to be more like that. And I think I got to close to his, level on that, where it's like, yeah, it's raining. Shit's coming in sideways. People's stuff is getting wet, but did anybody die? No.
Right.
Should people have prepared their tents a little bit better? Yeah, maybe in some cases. But overall, and Paulak caught me on that too, overall, everybody was good about keeping everything going and just keeping the ball in motion.
Yeah, it was almost a good thing that we were too busy, because I didn't really have time to be like, wait a second here. You know what I mean? Like the busy work kind of kept us just going and really didn't have time to like second guess ourselves, like, oh, this fucking blows. I mean, we kind of did say that a few times, but it was like, oh, I'll just move on. I got over it and moved on to the next thing because something else had to be done.
Yeah, and we were also on the same page from day one. Like, we can't be bitching in front of the people or like, in front of the attendees.
Of course.
Because that's just bad business, And I think we were kind of policing ourselves too. Like, hey man, I gotta bitch to you for like 30 seconds and then move on.
Yep.
And I think we did.
Yeah, we did. It was.
I hope I did.
Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
Too often either.
Oh,
Like,
sorry,
it was,
Strasburg. Go ahead. Start again. I'm sorry, we were talking over you.
yeah, it was. We didn't even have to use our code word for that either. It was like,
Oh, well, I did.
well, it's some, but like not nearly as much as I expected. And on the point of you didn't have time to blink, it was the only time I was able to rack out and like actually rest during the day was Saturday when QRF, like we were set to be QRF, and luckily we didn't need to go out because I was beat.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm curious about, though, is like a lot of the guys that have just shared their experiences are upper echelon. Guys like Stramp and Diamond had brand new guys to the event in their tents with, like, in their squads. So I'm curious what they thought of it. Like, all of the drama aside, like, what was their takeaway of the overall event involving the new guys, especially?
Paulie, you speaking of drama, you just stepped on my toes, so I was going to ask them that.
So
Like a good co-host.
I know a lot of my guys thoroughly enjoyed the event. Every single one of my new guys had attended some other event like Milsim West, and I know a lot of them were coming into this event as an airsoft perspective like Milsim West, where it's a lot more combat oriented because, you know, you hear it's an airsoft event. That's what your mind automatically goes towards if you know nothing of us. And so they really thoroughly enjoyed it because it was something that they weren't expecting coming into it. And so they when I spoke to them a couple days after, they were like, that was a completely different experience from what I was expecting going into it. It was more of a reenactment, like we talk about all the time, a reenactment just with airsoft guns.
Yep.
You can't see, but my fists are in the air pumping right now. I love hearing that.
So, all right. So, Randy, let me ask you from your point of view as a staff member that wasn't, and I don't want to single you out like, oh, you aren't as committed because you didn't come Sunday, but like you came later. And
yeah, so Will and I arrived on Tuesday, and when we came just about as you guys were all sitting down for like lunch or something, and Will and I came in and we saw pretty much all the tents set up. I think we put up we put up like 3 in the following days afterwards or something like that. And after we went up to all of you guys, we were talking for a little bit, and we started setting up all of our stuff in our tent. I looked at Will and I was like, holy shit. Because I thought that it was only going to be like a few tents, like 2 squad tents, and then all of the officer country stuff. But it was pretty much the entire base.
Yeah.
And I felt a little bad going into it because I was like, oh man, they did all of this stuff. And it's like, I'm a newer guy to staff. It's like I wanna do my part, and it's like there wasn't all that much for me to do when I arrived, and I felt kind of bad about that.
But you know what I like about your story arc though, Diamond? You had what I'm trying to go at is you showed up, you did do your part, but you also were assigned a task and you owned it with the baseball game and the backstop. So like when it was your time to shine, you took care of it. So like for me, that baseball game would probably be a highlight because all I had to do is show up for that task. It was great. Like you had everything taken care of, and that's what I think we need. It's like if you can't, I get it. People have work, people have other things to do, other commitments. But if you can't show up that Sunday, show up the Wednesday, show up the Tuesday with whatever task you own, and that's it. You're good to go. You've done your part. So I got to that's where I'm going at, Randy. I think you did what you were assigned to, and whatever promises you made, you delivered.
And also, Tuesday is still plenty early for the majority of people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with showing up on Tuesday. It'd be great if you showed up Monday, not you, but like the listener. If the listener showed up earlier, that's gravy. But also, I think, you know, Randy and I've been in this position too, where I'm trying to rush to get to the event, and like a couple of years ago, was fit on Long Island. I get there and everybody's like sitting around the parking lot with their thumb up the ass because some bureaucrat has a conniption fit about the insurance. So like I'm killing myself. I hope they didn't set everything up without me. I'd feel like a heel if I showed up and everything's set up without me. And then like we didn't even get onto the grounds because of this desk jockey. So I hear where you're coming from, but I wish more people had that same sentiment that we share, where it's like I need to pull my weight. I'm getting there early to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
So A plus for you, man.
Yeah, and Stramp, same thing. I guess like with your guys, like you had a pretty good squad of people who've returned. But even from your point of view, like how do you think you felt as a member of the staff coming into this, arriving? Because what day did you arrive? You arrived Tuesday?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning, right?
Wednesday morning. It was originally going to be Tuesday night, but
Right.
I was scrambling to get the 60 going, which we'll get to more of that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much a case of, because I was mostly focused on the squad bay, making sure everybody was squared away, which honestly I can't say enough good things about my guys. There was very little that needed to be corrected for the most part. Yeah, they were pretty good to go from the jump. We did a couple pre-PCIs and all that kind of stuff, making sure everybody's ruck setup was okay, but they made it easy. So like whenever I would go and venture out and see what all the other staff guys were doing, it was a case of like looking behind the curtain, or like the thing of like a duck, right? You know, on the surface they're all calm and everything like that, and you see underwater and they're furiously paddling away. That's kind of what it looked like. You know, peeking behind the curtain and watching everybody rush around and trying to get everything squared away, and from the staff end. But yeah, from because this was also my first time leading a squad. I'd been a ASL for a couple at this point. Yeah, again, can't say enough about my guys. Made it easy. But from a staff point of view, like, yeah, I felt bad about coming Wednesday, because I know how much the people that get there early do.
Yeah, and you've been part of that group in the past.
Although I mean it's tough. I think that the biggest thing, and chances are, if you're listening to this podcast, you're one of the people that is doing everything they can to pull their weight and everything like that. But I think that's the biggest thing, is to try and contribute as much as you can, because like you know, I hope it's clear, everybody's here because we're obsessed. I mean, the event's not even a week old and we're talking about, you know, talking about the event and already looking at planning the next one. So like it's all for the love of the game here. It does take a toll, you know. So if you can get there as early as you can, and if you can't get there early, at least be ready to carry your water, you know.
Make up for that time lost, like, because like Alex, even think about it, man. When you got there Wednesday, you immediately put up that second extension to the Viper for the Christmas party with whoever showed up. Like, so you kind of,
and 1-1's tent for that matter. Yeah.
So I mean, you did your part. You got stuff done, and then you stayed late. You stayed late enough to help pack up, and that's the big thing. Staying late on Sunday. I know everyone's tired and everyone wants to get home, but same for the guys that have to make one extra stop or two extra stops. Like Ferrucci, he goes to the storage unit and then he goes back to my house to drop off all of my shit. And then he's going back home, you know. So, and like, I've been part of that group too, where I'm making extra stops, and Strasburger as well in the past when we used to have to go to Sully's. So it's not a Sunday going home is not an easy time either. So guys who stay later for that definitely put in their work. So if you come, let's say you do come Thursday, stay a little extra on that Sunday for cleanup.
And we did have a nice core group of tryhards that stayed on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Like Ozella, Ojiri, a bunch of other people whose names I'm spacing out on, like guys that are not staff.
Yeah.
Guys
Oh, yeah.
who I think were even the first. This is maybe the first or second Bay event, and they were staying until pretty close to the bitter end, like until the last tent is down and on the trailer.
Yeah.
And then
Cassidy was there too. Till the end.
Cassidy, yes, thank you. Also Cassidy. So that's a huge relief, and that goes for setup too. Coming early, while you may not be setting up as many tents as the earlier people have done, just being there is a weight off of our minds because there's more people that we can pull from to get other jobs
Yeah.
done. Like I need 3 guys to get picnic tables. Well, instead of pulling from the 6 people that are there, now you're pulling from 10 people, and that's a huge help to the
Yeah.
people that have,
And-
that have done a lot already.
You know, it's funny. Ozella, man, that guy was hustling. Like Casey, you know, drove my car back, and she was watching all of us pack up, and she's like, I don't know if like Ozella feels bad for Ferrucci or something, because there was one time when Ferrucci was trying to do something, and Ozella saw him, and he like ran across the camp, like sprinted across to go help him do something, and she's like, I really like that kid because he was like, he like saw like all of us like putting in the work, and he's like, I gotta do something. So yeah, I gotta give.
Yeah, from the moment Ozella arrived on site, we kind of put him to work, and I think he got the idea. Like, yeah, if it's a small thing like getting another garbage bag in that garbage can, or if it was something a little bit more complex, he was in it.
Oh yeah.
He didn't say no. He didn't give a beef. He just did it, and that's all that we could ask. Just help
My
out how
first-
you can.
My first meeting with him was after the mashed potatoes dinners, and it was I think he had like just gotten there too, and we just started doing dishes together. And within like the first like 2 minutes of us doing dishes together, I was like, okay, I fuck with this kid.
Yeah, I was like, I need someone to help O'Donnell. Who could I get? Well, let's make it cute. Let's do Ozella and O'Donnell, and that's when I kept bringing more plates over to your pile.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Here's another
It
3
was
more.
just like, oh, and here's the gigantic pot with all of the mashed potatoes burned on the bottom. It's like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
but
he-
I did
We got
say
it, we got
that
it.
could stay until morning. There's always that can wait, that needs to soak overnight in the sink. There's always that one pan. But you guys did a great job in hashing it out. Pun
Yeah.
intended.
He
we
really
had
did
fun.
like hit the ground running too. Like he came in and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, what can I do? I forget what day he showed up. I think he showed up Wednesday
He
morning.
was early.
Yeah. Was
It-
it
it
Tuesday or
was-
Wednesday?
It was
I think
Wednesday.
it was Wednesday because
Oh,
that was
okay.
the Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
I feel like he was just so present for everything.
He
that
was.
I felt like
Yeah.
he was there longer.
Hell yeah. All right, so you guys want to move on to like sustains, but first I'll introduce everybody since he started talking. Yeah, Mike O'Donnell's jumping on too, so say what's up, Mike.
What's up, everybody?
All right. So yeah, let's start with this sustains. And when I was writing the synopsis or I guess it's like the document we work off of for all the podcasts, I used last year's format from Ben Het to this year, and I was comparing the sustains to the improves. And the one thing I noticed is a lot of the improves have become sustains this year, which is really good for us. I think it's something that we improved on, or we've improved and we're gonna keep it going. So that to me is a good sign. And I think one of the first one was the efficiency of the camp building was a sustain from last year. We kept that, right? That's one that we kept. We talked about that earlier, so let's not touch on that. I think with what we had to work with, we were pretty efficient with building the camp.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we had no time to dick around or have time to bitch about it, like somebody said
Right.
earlier. It's like we need to get this done, and from a personal level, I feel less stressed when I can get more work done. It's like, all right, well, we have half the tents up. Let's get the other half up, and then it'll just be like we can move on to the smaller issues. Like
Right.
once we get once we get the admin and the TOC and the PX, then we can unload some of our cars, and then we can unload some of our personal crap if our own tents are up, and then everybody's a little bit happier after that, instead of like having to feel like you need to unass your entire car just to get your fucking, stick of deodorant out from the very bottom of the Foot Locker that
Right.
everything else is piled on top of.
Right. So
And
yeah, and I
will
think
say-
that in turn that the one of the improvements we had last year was not smoking the staff by Wednesday. I think we paced ourselves right, and maybe the weather played in our favor a little bit. But I really felt pretty good all the way through.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I will say, like, for me, it was a big plus that we got the camp set up well early enough that I wasn't homeless for half the week. Usually,
Yeah.
I'm stuck in a different tent for a while, and then I got to move and all that. Luckily, I think it was by Monday or Tuesday, I was in the tent I was planning to go to, all set up way quicker than usual.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, last year for you, Strass, you think about it, you were in the tent that you were supposed to be in from day one, right?
I think last year, I can't remember. I think last
Yeah,
year maybe.
because we got that the staff tent up really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But usually,
that's the thing. Is last year's. Go ahead, Stressy. I'm sorry.
usually it's a slog to find where I'm going. And like, I think the year prior, it took me 3 or 4 days to find the tent I was going to.
Yeah, because you were in
and-
Wiki's tent for a while too.
Yeah,
And
then
both years at Gettysburg, you were like fucking living out of the Viper for a week.
Yeah, Junction City
Exactly.
too. He was homeless for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet I think we just were so efficient last year and this year, and it's like almost like we should never change the process of how we do it. I think that's just we kind of solved the mystery of how to put the tents up faster.
Or they will put it like what higher.
Yeah. All right, so
you're
yeah.
saying more staff should stay home and not come early?
No, because then that's. I mean, we still will go insane after a while, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the PX operation is a sustain. I think it was probably the best PX we've ever had, in my opinion.
Well, funny you should mention. I've been dying to share the numbers. The PX this year, the grand total take, compared to last year, close to triple.
Yeah.
That's including the BAE merch, like the novelty T-shirts, and also the BAE, like the notebooks and the BAE socks and green T-shirts, and also the consignment people such as myself and Paulak and Stramp and Strasburger and Herman and Van Ness. And if I'm missing somebody, then I have bad bookkeeping skills. But the BAE take was close to double last year, and that's considering that last year my donation to the group was making a shit ton of tourniquets for the gameplay. So that was the big like fundraising item last year, and we made a ton of money. So thank you to everybody that bought a tourniquet. There's still a couple rattling around in the crates, so there's still opportunity to buy them. This year's fundraising item for sale was the Christmas stockings. A few people bought them, not nearly as many people as I hoped or planned to. So we could have done even better still as a BAE take from the PX. But I think this is the best year that I and Paulak ran it, set it up, and I'm a little disappointed by how events on Friday turned out, beyond our control. But had the PX been open for an extra, even an hour, as opposed to the 5-minute blitz sale that we had, I feel like we could have done exponentially better than the years past. So thank you for everybody that came to the PX to buy something, or even if it was just to come and chit chat with me and Paulak for a little bit, kick the tires a little bit, so to speak. As we like to say, the money you spend at Big Bay's PX comes back to you in other ways. So the money that we did pull in, it's definitely going to help pay for insurance and put a dent in that, or the storage unit, that kind of stuff. So A+ from my perspective on the PX, and hopefully everybody else that's on the panel right now can say like, they're maybe I have feedback from them, so I will open the floor to them. Any improves or sustains from the PX standpoint?
No, I just wanted to point out. I think a lot of it contributed to having new people. So like it's like they're seeing all the product for the first time. Like that's just simplifying it, right? But I
It
really
could be. It could be. Yes.
but I really
Yes.
think the items people had was just better this year. Like between Alex's stuff and the grenades that Steve made, like that kind of stuff really contributed to like drawing people in. And even if like could have been just someone going, "Here, check out this awesome grenade that Stramp made," and someone wasn't interested in buying that, they're like, "Oh shit, there's stuff like that there. Let me go check it out."
Right. Right.
Mhm.
It's not somebody's like rat fucked canteen cover for $30. It's a fucking set of pretty damn minty ones for $20, like
Yeah.
courtesy of Pollack. Like there were some fucking bargains there, all across the
Mhm.
board. Like Strasburger has some cool airsoft stuff
Yep.
for like basically less than retail, or they're close enough to basically cost. And we're not charging people to come into the PX. Like we're like as if it was a flea market. You're not paying your couple of bucks to get into the gun show to then look at the stuff and not buy anything. It's free. Just come on into the PX. And at some point, I was giving away like cold waters to anybody that looked like they could really use a cold water. At least until I sold the Mermite that was holding them. But I do feel like there were new people. There was a lot of cool shit. I think we also made it more shoppable. We really fucking literally upped our game and made use of the vertical space. So
Yep.
people could see more of what we had.
Yeah, just that one set of shelves allowed so much more space and product to be showed.
They took up half the car, but it was fucking worth it.
Yeah. I have to go through and
gonna
restock. I probably have to do it. I'll probably maybe Saber, you and I one day we can sit down and
Oh,
we'll
buddy, I can tell you right now, you need green t-shirts and socks. You got maybe one pair of each.
Yeah.
People that were like mediums were buying XL shirts just because they fucking needed.
Right. All right.
But
that's
yeah,
good.
we
gonna
can
say
hammer that out.
it was really gratifying just to see like all the grenades hanging off everybody's gear and whatnot, knowing like, hey, like just for me personally, like, hey, I had a hand in that. It was cool seeing like your work displayed across the line, and all the different squads. It was super cool to see.
Fucking
Um,
A.
yeah,
Fucking A,
I-
man. And what,
Steven,
so
I'm sure similar experience, but yeah, I'll definitely be adding more stuff to the PX for next year. for
do you have
sure.
anything like off the top of your mind that you might want to tease the public with now? Like some ideas you're kicking around?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna bring more Willie Pete's. I know I brought way fewer than the demand was, so that'll be a definite. Um, and it's a goal of mine. And like I got a ton of ideas, and there's a huge difference between ideas and execution. But I want to have 3D printed pyro in there at some point as like a poverty tag and alternative.
I
But
like that. I'm all about
um,
stretching a dollar.
yeah, so that's something I've been kicking around. I've got some biodegradable 3D print filament that I've been messing with. So that's something that I've been thinking about doing. We'll see. I always tend to my we'll see. I always tend to bite off a lot more than I can chew with projects, it seems. But yeah, that's something that I would like to do for next year for sure. Because more
Let
pyro
me
is
ask
more
you
better.
this. Since you were a squad leader and you currently have the mic, did you see anybody that needed something from the PX and just straight up didn't buy it? It doesn't matter the reason that they may or may not have had. I'm just curious because I saw some things, and I'm wondering if you noticed the same. Not particular to your squad, but in general.
I mean, I can think of one possible, and I think it was just a case of just not um it might have just been they didn't have the cash on them.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I don't want to go into specifics. I don't want to call anybody out, but
That's fine.
and I mean, we have the PayPal. I don't know. I hope they were aware of that. I hope that they figured that out and did end up getting the stuff. But or you know, rain out. I think between the weather, I think the well, yeah, the weather and maybe some naive planning on some new people's thing. Yeah, socks and t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
that's
myself
something
included, I knew going into this, like, I'm gonna have to stretch these socks. I'm gonna have to wear them and then air them out and then wear them again. And I just about came home with like 1 or 2 unused pairs. So I could have worn them better, and maybe my feet would be less hurting than they are now. But things that I'm thinking of that I noticed were like desert tan canteens instead of the
Mm,
green ones. Like, we have them for sale. We have brand new Rothko. They've never been touched by human lips, for a very fair price. There were also some originals. Paulek sold a 2-quart, like an original Nam 2-quart, for a bargain, basement price. So there are, I did notice some little things that could have been easily fixed to help promote the come correct attitude. But yeah, but budget, personal budget is definitely a factor when people buy stuff. It's like, okay, well, I need a notebook, but I don't think I can afford a $25 airmail, BAE special, or the $15 like green bound, memo pad, like the GI issue one. But we did have some like flip books. We had some Walmart specials kicking around in there where people could purchase those. So we try to keep all our options open for everybody, whether
and
you've
I
got
mean,
money to burn or like you really need to have this item. And we could help you out too. People were like, I got, I got $25. The total is 26. I'll fucking work with you. That's not a problem. I'm not going to lose my shirt over $1.
Okay. So, all right, moving on. To the next topic. Well, the next sustain, I guess, is the unit TO&E SOP on the bulletin board. So I have this as a sustain, but I'm gonna ask you guys because I felt the location of the talk / admin was kind of off the beaten path of where most of the foot traffic was on base. Did any of you guys read it in the mornings? Because I did move it, and I want to know if you guys did read it in the mornings. The fact that it's silent right now. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Strand.
no, it was something where, and granted, it's also a case of like things changing, but whenever I needed to find out what was going on, I was going and asking somebody. I did not see it.
Yeah. So I moved it to
To be
the
completely
Viper.
honest with you.
Yeah, I moved it to the
Okay.
Viper because I was like, yeah, I don't think anyone's walking past this now. So I guess this is like an asterisk. I think it's like sustain to keep on doing it, but maybe we need to rethink the location of admin next year to have it more centered. Like, I think where it was on Ben Headspace was pretty much centered, so everyone saw it. I think the location at Dragon's Back when we were in Gettysburg was really good, and I think the location at Junction City 2 was really good. I think it was perfect because it was on that main strip. So if you're going to the PX, if you're going to the Viper, if you had business at the support company, that it was there. It was basically at the main T section of the base. So I think that's something maybe we need to improve on as in its location. But yeah, I mean, I was hoping that the weather forecast on there would help people like realize it's going to be cold at night.
Yeah.
Other than just
I
using
mean,
your
that's
phone.
also, yeah. I think also just like maybe it was just overlooked, but like pointing out when we were all in formation, just to like remind everybody, is because
Yeah.
people coming in, like
Yep.
it's a good chance they just missed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Or they're not used to it. Like Cassidy's a good
yeah,
example because I always see him go and look at it, and I think maybe he gets that from being a Marine. That he's like, oh yeah, that's a thing that I would always have to look at when I was a Marine, when I was doing the thing. So
I'll be honest with you. I think the location of the admin and the talk was great because it was close to officer country. I didn't even know that you had the information board up
yeah,
until I saw it at your little speech about like the history and Diamond's speech about the history of the 173rd.
right. And I was erasing it
And
to
I was
reuse
there
the
since
chalkboard.
Sunday. And I was there since Sunday. I didn't know that
Yeah.
that was up.
Yeah. So that I think I
Is
don't
it
know,
a location or an awareness? Is my point. I think it's awareness because
yeah,
you don't want everybody to be like going through the talk all the
Yes.
time either. So
Yeah.
the location of the tent I think was great. Especially because you're right by the opening. So the thought process was you would have people notice somebody coming in for the first time, grab them,
Yes.
have them do their admin shit, and then send them on their way. We didn't harp on checking the board at all.
Yeah,
So that
it's
may
something to
be an
think
awareness.
about. Yeah, I'm just saying it's something to think about maybe for next year. Maybe the board doesn't go. Maybe it does just live at the Viper, and whoever's an admin is doing all that work, which is pretty much me. Is okay.
Yeah.
I'm posting it where everyone's eating breakfast for the morning. Something like
And
that.
hopefully we don't have to get to the level where Bear once had us hold up our notepad and 2 writing implements in formation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we need to get to that point, I will put on my platoon sergeant pants and say, everybody copy down everything verbatim off of the daily board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who could tell me what the third sentence is off of the like? Hopefully we don't have to get that far, but if we threaten it, maybe maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I can make people, because it's almost like you're training them to make it into a habit to read it. Like Diamond, do you recall reading it or Strasburg?
I think I read it once, and that was, I believe, before it was moved into the Viper when I was approaching you and Paulak when I had that personal issue.
Gotcha.
That was the only time that I recall like glancing at it. Even when you and I were setting up for the night where we were doing our like history and like our little history thing, even that I barely even noticed it. And to pivot back to Sabia's point, I think it could be a good thing to where like we tell people like take a look at the board, just so you have an idea of what's happening that day. I think that could be useful.
Yeah. Okay.
And that way people know what time the Christmas party is or what time the band performance is, so they don't they don't go out or have a reminder on there. You should not be leaving base without checking with somebody first or getting the shopping list and all that kind of shit. So yeah.
And I'm writing this in as an improve is we didn't really go over plan of the day as we used to. So that's something that kind of works in tandem with the bulletin board. So,
well, to be fair, once again playing devil's advocate for the other side now, flip-flopping back and forth, the plan of the day was pretty much the same for the first 5 days.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really waste our time.
Let's stay hydrated. Let's get this shit where it needs to be, and let's get this and this and this and this. And it's the same shit. It's the same fucking thing. So.
Yeah.
I was going to say the rain also had a huge impact on that because we were changing, like the plan of the day went out the window depending on when the rain was supposed to get in,
Yeah.
So I'm thinking specifically like baseball game wise.
Well, the baseball game actually was on time. It perfectly fit.
It was okay.
It was the rain the day before that kind of fucked us.
Yes, but you still, how I look at it though is
you still dodged the rain that day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But Alex, even to that point though, is having that plan of the day is still a list of what needs to be done. So now it's like, oh, I know this needs to be done. Now we can adjust. If you didn't know what the hell to do, then it's just adding more to the chaos. So I still think going over plan of the day is a good thing. We did do it. Now I'm rescinding what I said because I think that small staff group did get plan of the day every night. We kind of went over it.
We did, yeah. The heads knew.
Yeah,
because
wasn't
we had.
information.
Yeah, it wasn't in formation, or we usually did a meeting at the Viper before lights out, you know. But that, I mean, this is ties back with like other improves, like people needing to show up early, which we'll go on when we go down the list. So all right, let's move on so we can get down to that. So the supply for mess and food was good. I think we had a lot of extra. Strasburger and I did that shopping, and I think it worked out well. Maybe we could have cut down on some things because we did spend more than usual for less people. If when I kind of like look at the numbers, maybe we could have spent less and had the food go farther, but no one complained for lack of food. There's no way anyone could have complained. So I'll chalk that as a sustain. Strasburg, what do you think? As someone who bought all that food,
Part of that I think was we got some more like bowls and utensils and stuff that'll go for a couple of years.
yeah,
Good use in the kitchen. And also we had I think we had guys that were supposed to be there earlier than they came. So we counted for more heads than the food
yes,
that we actually got.
yeah, and then we had we bought for people that just backed out.
We also missed at least one meal plan meal.
We
There
did,
were
but
like
remember we made up for it the next day, and that's a good example, Joe, because remember we didn't do the burgers on Sunday night, and then we made the burgers the next day for everybody who would have eaten Sunday night as lunch, and then we had so
Yeah.
much, but we had so many extra burgers because there wasn't just enough people to eat all the burgers, so we had burgers like 2 other days, you know.
There was also a lunch, at least one lunch, that I feel was overlooked because by the time we got it going, it was 2 o'clock and nobody
Yep.
was hungry.
Yep.
So there was also that grilled cheese minestrone soup thing.
I still have it.
Um,
I still have the minestrone.
it's
Yeah.
fine. It's in a
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, and I got all the oats that I'll eat the open oats, and maybe I'll save the sealed ones for another time. I don't know.
Yeah. So you have to factor that in too.
Yep.
It's just
Yep.
less people, less
Yeah.
meals.
Yeah,
But I thought that the portions, if anything, like, whoa, there were a couple meals where I had to like not feel
engorge.
guilty about letting the food go to waste, without getting seconds.
Yeah, I mean, guys like
Yeah, it was
I mean,
good.
and
Nobody went
but you
hungry.
know what's crazy too? Like think about it. Like guys like Faka enjoyed it because he was able to go for like fourths, and
Right.
we were missing Ferrucci, who would have been going for third and fourths. Like that food probably would have been eaten. A lot of it would have been eaten just with Ferrucci alone. I'd not
Yeah.
to give him too much credit, but like seriously.
It's the
And
same
they're
as those
hardworking guys. It's not like they're fucking freeloaders or
No,
anything
no,
like that.
yeah.
Like, I would gladly feed the people that are digging the holes and hauling the tents and all that kind of
Yep.
shit.
Yep. Go Strasburger. What were you saying? Sorry.
big sustain is those sausages on it.
Oh, the Irish sausage.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about that the other day to Casey. She's like, "Why don't you get some?" I'm like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do with a pack of 50 of those sausages other than eat them and be fat."
Doesn't stop me.
All right, next sustain is the usage of Warwick. I have mixed feelings on this, but we'll reference the poll that the survey we put out this week, and most people said, yeah, let's use Warwick again. So I'm keeping that as a sustain. I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
I like the AO. I think I saw sides of it that I allegedly saw part of last year, but looked completely new to me because of the direction we were in. And even then, like knowing the grid and like where we stepped off at, there were still parts of the AO that we haven't seen in either years, which I think is really cool. It was tough terrain, but I wouldn't be opposed to leaving it. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's how I feel, Paulie. And if let's say we go back, I can just design a lot of the missions to go in different directions, which is what I did somewhat from Ben Het to Green Lightning, right? So yeah, maybe we'll be in the same spot as the camp for the GIs, and the Pavin could be in the same spot for their camp, but we would maybe go counterclockwise instead of clockwise for this one patrol to kind of mix it up a little bit. But yeah, if I think the gist, at least for me, is if if we have to go back there, if we're going back there, it's great. Like I don't think it'll hurt us in any way as long as we get it booked earlier. That's my biggest thing. If we can get it booked by November, awesome. But that's kind of where I'm at. Like I think there's no knock against the actual AO. It's just a matter of getting it booked earlier.
I'm glad to hear that Steven is also in the same like perception state that I am in whenever I'm in the woods. Like, we were here before? Huh. Okay, if you say so. Like at Mike Force, I turned to you, Liam, at one point. I'm like, where the fuck are we? Show me on the map. And you're like, we're at last year's Ron site. And I'm like, we slept here? We spent a fucking day here? I don't it's all trees. I feel like Picante in Band of Brothers, like, hey, don't these woods remind you of like Bastogne or some other place, like completely different country? Like, I see a couple of trees and a couple of mounds of dirt, and it's all fucking same.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that I'm not the only one inept at evaluating our whereabouts.
Whoa, that's a big accusation, even though I am a lieutenant.
That is not what I was getting at, and I was afraid. I was afraid of that comment. I was trying to backpedal mid-sentence too, but sorry about that, LT. But there is more to the AO than what we've covered thus far. Is that correct?
Yeah. We didn't go as far east as we could have gone on that AO, and
it was the northeast part that I don't remember ever unfolding on my map.
Yeah. We did pass through it a little bit on that Sunday patrol, but there's a lot more.
I meant northwest. I meant northwest. Yeah, Sunday we hit
northwest. We didn't really touch either, but the Pavan camp's over there, so I didn't really want to like mess with them.
We don't want that.
Right.
We no. Give them space.
So yeah, the Warwick. It's such an awesome place. Like I would even be. Let's say we find another place for the big event next year. I would use Warwick for another event if they have us.
Fucking A. Yeah. And what's cool about it is the geography. There's inclines that will kick your butt. There's rocks that'll kick your butt. There's some streams that, if you're not careful, will kick your butt. But then there's also some like nice clearings where you don't feel like you're humping through the like thousands of years of overgrowth and bush where you're crawling on your hands and knees. So I feel like it's a nice mix of aesthetically, cool shit for pictures on patrol, and also the realism of getting into the shit.
Yeah. It's definitely top of our, maybe top one. Like the AO itself is definitely the top AO we've ever used.
Yeah,
like saying
it's a good middle ground of the like you got the difficult terrain, you got the varied terrain, but it's not, a vertical. Well, some of the places certainly were. It's not quite as bad as some of the as challenging, I should say, as some of the other AOs that we've used in the past.
Right.
Like you got places where, yeah, you got variations. It's just a case of like, how soon can we lock it in? It seems to be the only real issue with it. But,
yeah.
I would not be opposed to going back, but if we wanted to find somewhere else, or we could find somewhere else, let's do it.
And for the listeners, what we're talking about is like, let's say you're planning a vacation. You have your heart set on this one particular region. You even have the hotel picked out, but they're not accepting reservations for July until like March, whereas you're sitting in like your apartment in like fucking November and you're just dying to get this shit like scratched off your to-do list. That's kind of what it's like being Liam, where it's like, we want this place, we're not quite allowed with the bureaucracy involved to advertise that we have it locked in just yet. And it's kind of painful for us to kind of go through So we do appreciate everybody who's patient, and also everybody that just blindly buys their ticket. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going no matter fucking what.
Which I
Because
love.
that's me. That's most of the people in this podcast right now. Fucking sound off, guys. Like this, like that's if you're dedicated and you want to do the event, doesn't matter fucking where it is.
Yep.
As long as the leaves are brown.
Well, at least most of the leaves.
On the ground.
No, all the leaves.
Maybe you're just
Oh,
colorblind.
brown. They're all brown, man.
I've seen some leaves, man. They're all brown. I wouldn't recommend it.
All right,
Wouldn't recommend it.
Next, sustain real quick the baseball game. I think it was the best baseball game we've had. Anybody who played it
Yeah.
was
This is by far the best game we had.
right of the 3 or 4 we've done. Well, hands down.
Yeah, by far the best. Everybody this year was super into it. Like when some of the new guys were getting there, like I would hear them talking about like, oh, I'm excited for this. I just had Will. He texted me like 5 minutes ago asking like, hey, what size baseball glove do you use? Because he's really into it now. And
Good.
that makes me so happy that it's like something that's like something like that. It's like it's spreading off to other people and then they can go spread it out to where we can get more numbers for it. Even though the numbers for this year were great, we had 9-on-9, I believe.
Yep.
For both teams. And it's like something to where if more people are interested, they may spend their own time trying to improve at it to where it could potentially be a lot more competitive and a lot more fun for everyone.
Hell yeah.
And not only that, but as a staffer, this is the first year that I, harking back to like the lack of free time for the upper echelon people. This is the first year that I got to attend. I am by no means an athlete, but I had the time of my life just like watching y'all play.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, can we get ice cream after?
I already told you we have to pick up your sister at ballet practice, and if you bring it up on the podcast one more time, I swear to Christ, I will turn this minivan around.
We're definitely gonna need somebody next year on Orange Slice and Gatorade duty.
Hell yeah.
That's gonna be big.
I
That's gonna
can
be big.
probably do that. I do feel monumentally bad that 2 of my rolls of film got compromised because I was out there like fucking Hunter S. Thompson just covering everything like Gonzo style, just like blurred shots, foul balls. It doesn't matter what it was. I was just snapping pictures left and right. I broke one camera, lost the roll of film that was inside of that, and then there was another roll that just got apparently I don't know how to use a camera, even though I've been shooting film since like 2003. So,
but the pictures you did get, Joe, were really good.
The pictures that I got, thank you, were great, and I missed. Like I can look up at the negatives, like up to the sunlight, and be like, "Yep, that would have been nice to have kept," but I'm just a fucking idiot, and I was using 200 film on a kind of overcast day, as if it was sunny, 16 kind of setting. So like that's user error, but still to have that camaraderie. The reason I bring it up is the camaraderie. Coming early gains you a full access seat to the inside jokes. You got to see how some people, I'm not going to mention his name because I would do the same exact thing. See how some people just don't know how to play baseball. I by no means am an athlete, but I do feel like if I can't be an athlete, I might as well be an athletic supporter. Haha. So having people just show up for the baseball game and even if they don't take pictures, if they just clap and cheer everybody else on, it's a unit building event. It just creates esprit de corps, which is something that BAE is all about. It's just hand holding and like walking into the rivers and just getting cleansed by the blah 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 blah. You get the point.
Holy, why didn't you play again? I forgot.
I was actually really tired. I slept the whole way. I feel bad that I did miss it, but I know physically I would not have been in shape to play and run around.
Hmm.
So I took a nap.
All right.
I swear
Which
to God,
I
there was a
regret.
guy that looked just like you in the photos, though. I'm like looking at it, going, I don't remember seeing Paulie, but here he is in the photo. There was a dude in a tiger boonie, the same way that you wear it, and a green T-shirt.
You know who that was?
It was
That was
Ozella.
Ozella. Yep.
Yeah.
Double caked up.
Ah,
Sexy man right there.
Yeah. Was Cody Ozella
Sneaky,
sexy
sneaky.
man?
Oh yeah.
And talking about Will looking into what he's going to do next year. I'm already figured out where to go find a batting cage.
Will needs the rule book.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over some of the rules with him.
Yeah, but
Coach
you know
him
what
up
though,
real good.
Randy, we could also just do it right before the game too.
Yeah.
Because we did adjust, we made some homebrew rules too, just to keep it easy for everybody, and it was kind of like
Yeah.
a little like straight little league rules, like I was the dad pitching everyone fucking layups. Which
Yeah, and I 100%, if I had played, I wouldn't know when to run. I'm
PE
throwing that
class.
out there. I remember reading a book as a kid. Maybe Liam, do you remember Wrong Way Applebaum?
No.
Okay, it's a story about a kid that doesn't know how to play baseball, and he ran the bases in the wrong direction.
Nice.
Yeah, so at least I know how to which direction to run. I just don't know when to run.
Oh yeah, that was Will. He got caught on he thought like he could stay on first base and be safe.
And the photos of that argument came out beautiful.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I made sure he knew not to do that again.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was funny.
Diamond! I
When
put those
you
to you
yelled,
before I
and he
posted them
didn't.
in public, man. Those are great fucking photos.
Randy,
In-
when you yelled dent, I actually woke up for that. I heard you scream dent. I think I said it to someone. I was like, did they get into an argument down there? I forgot who I said that to, but yeah,
Oh,
you woke me
Paul,
up, man.
Paul, like go through the film because you could see exactly like in real time. It's like a flip book.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Ferrucci, when you can see he's when he's batting, it's like a flip book. If you go back and forth quick enough, you could see the ball move.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
good.
But he had a few good hits. I was thoroughly surprised that he was able to get bat on ball. I was thoroughly surprised, and I may have tore him a new one for the base running error, but I think I was cheering the loudest when he got his first like real good hit, because I was not expecting that out of him.
Oh yeah, that was a proud Papa moment you had there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. So moving on, we have the radios, which was the next sustain. The radios were better this year because they were existent and worked. And I have to give that credit to Darius. So if anything, Darius didn't show up last year. He needs to show up like he did this year and take care of the radios, and it worked out. So there's not really much to press on that as they were just they worked the entire time. They were clear the whole way. I think the guys in the talk did a great job. Some of the new guys need to work on their radio etiquette a little bit, but it's a learning curve. I think my RTO was nervous in the beginning, and by Sunday he was great. It's like you can see that bell curve of improvement, and it was actually bell curve is a bad example. It was a plateau.
By Saturday night he was good.
Yeah, he was good to go. Yeah.
By Sunday morning, when I had to get on the horn, I'm like asking him a quick couple of who the fuck are we, or what the fuck do I say? He just calmly told me what to say, and it was that.
Yep.
And then the message never got to the people that needed it, but O'Donnell was quick to relay it. So thank God nobody heard my semi-panic stricken call. But yeah, I think your RTO was fucking tits, man.
And he had to
We are not
keep up with
Oscar Kilo. We are not.
No more Oscar Kilo.
No, and more importantly, he's already posting shit online about like he's looking for this, he's gonna buy this, or this is his setup. You know, as RTO, he's working on like what do you call it? Baofeng. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, the Baofeng conversion.
Right, he's already working on that shit for next year, which is a huge, thing for us to see.
Well, just a warning: the Baofeng conversion is not going to work with our real radios. Just a heads up.
Well, that's two things he could work on. That.
Yeah, but the
He's working
Waxum,
on it.
you can the Waxum,
He's got a year.
Yeah, the Waxum radio will work with real radios somewhat. I think they have just different power outputs, so they miss each other. But we can tweak it. As Joe said, we have a year.
But yeah,
but he was great. Like Strasburger said, like I think early on, you're like, yeah, this guy's doing so good. He's like basically holding your hand.
Dude, he was. Right
I would
up
not
there.
want to be humping that bush and running alongside you. No fucking way would I want to do that. But he did, and he did not bitch at all.
No,
He did it the entire time. He did not bitch about it at all.
Yeah.
no, he was awesome. Daniel Hull.
Daniel killed it.
I'm really excited to see his AAR. He's going to do a video that he's going to post on his YouTube. Like, I haven't even filmed mine, mostly because like Liam already did his, and I want to see what this guy has to say about the event. I'm really curious what his perspective was.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But 100%, the functionality of the radios goes to Darius. Huge props to him, especially to that huge fucking antenna they put up.
Yep.
If you didn't notice the giant like ET phone home fucking homing beacon that they put up, that thing's what, like 30 fucking feet tall?
Yeah. No,
Like,
and I wish Darius got there earlier, but I have to give him credit. The minute he showed up, he
started working.
He got his list. Yeah, the list that he had that he went over with me to get done. He got done. Because I was nervous. I was like, I don't want him to show up, and then now like I got shit to do, and he's gonna be fucking like, oh Liam, what do I do? What do I do? He kind of just took care of it. I was like, here, I need help with the talk with some of the guys that were supposed to come and didn't come. That was kind of struggling a little bit. It kind of took a back seat until he got there, and he went and took it on. Good, done.
He was even helping guys like adjust the fucking helmet bands and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, he's good with that stuff.
Just goes. He just goes. It's great.
Yep. All right. The shelter for the Pavin was an improved last year. We went over the top for the Pavin numbers with the shelter we provided. When I went up there, I think on Thursday, it looked good. The camp looked good. It looked like everyone was going to stay dry if it did rain. Weather did play a part in keeping everybody in the event. Other than being cold, it was dry, and I'm thankful for that. But you still got to be prepared for it being wet. I know. I think Steve, you and I might have been the only ones in this chat that made it to the Pavin camp. It looked good. It looked good to me.
Yeah, honestly, the Pavin camp video that we made, it took a page out of that book directly. And I thought it was cool. Like, I would love to see more, so a larger quantity, because realistically, it was what? A main central camp and 3 paired buddy hammock setups around it. Like, I would love to see like 7 or 8 of them, because that would make it feel like a real camp.
Yeah.
But for the numbers that they had, I thought it was pretty solid.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, just the contingent that was there are usually the harder guys to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So like giving them that extra shelter to me just made them that much more combat effective, and it showed. It showed.
Yeah.
So if the shelter contributed towards that and improving the event, then like we got to keep doing that. We got to keep going. So
keep expanding.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep it going because we're an hour and 13 into this. The Bamboo Viper, I have it as a sustain. We didn't have it last year. We had it this year. Strasburger has been kind of like, he's usually involved with the Viper. Pollack and I really took it on, which is funny because it was like an NCO's club run by officers. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You can disagree with me. But I have to say that I think the Viper this year might have been the best Viper we've ever had. Other than, I'd argue that the Junction City 2 Bamboo Viper might have been the best one. So Strasburger, what do you think? Because you've been the Viper proprietor for many years.
So I think the JC2 Viper had the plus that every night, it's like for 3 or 4 nights it was full. There was stuff going on. There were suds flowing. We had a really good time every night. I think the party this year though in the Viper really shined on like the space that we put together for it,
Yeah,
and like that party, I think that might be the best party that we put on. And I did enjoy that it was on a Wednesday night. I think we keep that a Wednesday night party instead of
yeah,
a Thursday party for just for combat effectiveness.
yeah. Well, I think the usage of it. Good point, Strassi. I think the usage of it were party on Wednesday, and then the educational stuff on Thursday to keep. It's kind of like keeping everybody out of trouble, not getting fucking uh, zooted before we're going out on patrols for Friday, right? So
Absolutely,
so I think
absolutely, that 100% made sense to do it that way. And I kind of like the layout that we put the bar in the middle this time
yeah.
instead of the corner, and it just made everyone flow across the whole space.
Yeah, I mean that party was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. I mean, everyone in here did attend the party, right?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
Absolutely.
got
yeah,
to just enjoy the party this time instead of being behind the bar.
yeah. I had fun bartending, to be honest, because
Oh, it's
from
fun,
my
right?
perspective, like sitting in that middle, like I was still on the edge of the tent, so like I was just soaking it in. Everyone having fun, listening to
People
the
watching.
show. It was great. I wouldn't do it again. I mean, I wouldn't do it differently ever again. Like that's how the Christmas party would be every year. Maybe a few improvements, but not anything changed.
Yeah, I think the bar being in the middle for the bartender, I think that was a good way to keep involved, keep people around you talking, keep you like in the conversation and in the know of it, like or like to feel the whole party around you too,
Yep.
rather than being up in the corner. I mean, in
Yeah.
the corner it was nice because it when people wanted drinks, they just came up, got it, and left. Some people would hang and talk, but it felt like I I only had half the tent to like observe, whereas the other half was like a different planet basically because all the stuff going on.
Right. I mean, what else?
I think
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Stramp. Sorry.
I think part of the thing was as far as like I would say that the Christmas party, absolutely 100%, I think one of the best just parties that Bay has done, at least in what I've been to. There's no doubt in my mind. Um, as far as the rest of the nights, I definitely felt like there was less of that being like I mean, it was still a hangout spot, but it wasn't going as long into the night and things like that. Um, I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that's down
That
to
that
like
was by
everybody
design.
being new, you
Nope,
know?
that was by design.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Liam, but we kind of put a early curfew at least on the first couple of days. Like when we did the Woodstock movie, we were done by what, midnight,
I just think
11:30.
everyone was so tired, Joe. Because like,
Yeah, that
cause
that too. Like we were like to criticize earlier Bamboo Vipers, you would maybe say that it was messy and unkempt. However, the traffic that it got was monumental
yeah,
compared to now, where it's like the only time it was really used at full tilt was the Christmas party.
yeah, I know. But
So
but look,
it's kind
but
of a catch 22. I hear what
Well,
you're
that's
saying,
that's what I'm
Stramp.
saying.
It's like, was it the hangout? Was it the party spot? No. Did we want people to be having a nightly party? Not really. I
not
mean,
really.
like,
But Joe, you say that, and now hear me out.
yeah,
Uh, after the Woodstock movie, everybody who like wasn't that course group fucking split, like the staff group,
yeah.
and we hung out there. We hung out
You want
there,
at
kind of
least
talking
another
about
two
the day,
hours.
right? Then
Yeah.
and then the same thing happened after the Christmas party, and then Thursday night. At Thursday night, think about it, like it was you, me, John, Strassi, O'Donnell, like we were the only ones up. We're like, where is everybody? And we were actually gonna play a movie, and everyone just was like, "No, I'm going to bed." I think people were
Yeah.
just were like we're smart and we're like, no, I'm not here to party. Like the nights of like staying up to 3 a.m. then coming into my tent, meet with me threatening to stomp you out, is over. Like, you know, yeah,
Thank God.
Strasburger knows what I'm talking about.
Thank
But,
God. I mean,
yeah,
and
yeah.
also from a personal standpoint too, I'm saving a lot of money by not having to bring several cases of beer, you know, to just drink because it happens to be a Monday night.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like
And
you're not handing out shit left and right just because you want everybody to have a good time. If people are not feeling it and they want to rest instead, by all means,
no, it's
please
smart.
do so.
Smart.
That's smart, and that's also an indicator that we're making the Viper like this is the hangout section. If you want to chill, you go back to your rack.
Yes,
You're
but
not
you know,
hanging out in your squad bay to play grab ass. You're going to the Viper for that.
right, and
Which we've been training for years to get that, and it seems like we finally got it.
we kind of got it. And you know, the Viper, yes, it's supposed to be the bar, right? The club. But what I love about it is it still serves as like the cafeteria. So morning for breakfast, everybody was in there eating breakfast and hanging out and talking about their day and what they're gonna do. And that's how I always wanted the Viper to be anyway. And at Junction, I think that like at Junction City 2, that was the best we ever had. I just loved like coming in and the fans were blowing and we had all the ammo crates of all the different like choices. We had water, we had like lemonade, we had Sunny D, we had like a variety of like juices and coffee, and that's what I loved, and that's what I would almost rather the Viper be than the fucking hangout at night to get zooted, you know, blazed or whatever. So we did have that though. We did have that in the mornings. I just felt like that was like I would just come in the morning and people are already up, like it kind of reminded me of camp, like of the cafeteria camp.
Yeah, it's the commissary. It's the home room, if you will.
Yep. Yeah, and it was kept pretty clean for concerning how busy we were.
Yeah. Yeah,
Polish
was
game was
a lot of
looking
counts
real
that we
like.
picked out of the grass, but you know, overall it was clean. I'm sorry, Pollock. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say the Polish shame was looking pretty clean.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
dude, I forgot all about the Polish shame after like the first infraction. Literally, one thing went up there the whole time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I got Strassie's canteen cup.
Yeah, there
up
were
there.
a couple things.
There were a couple things.
may or may
What
not
else
have
was
had
up there?
some
Because I
other
remember
things
there
up
was the only thing that I told Strasburger to put up there was the canteen that I almost stepped on after it being outside the PX for 23 hours.
Yeah.
After we already told that trooper that it was there. That was the only thing that I saw up there. What else was up there? Because now I'm like excited that it got
canteen
used.
cup. Canteen cup of Strasburgers.
That's
Yeah, that was so funny because Strasburger Sony is like, oh man.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It's like do better. What else was up there?
I had left a canteen out. Now, granted, it had my initials on it, but yeah, I had a canteen that went up there.
Yeah, well, we every year we go through this like amnesia patient of like, what are the rules? Is it named or is it just left in a spot or is it unnamed? So like,
I think it's really just messing with each other.
Let's
That's
set the
what
record clear.
Yeah.
If your name is on it and it's left for an extended period of time in a place where it does not belong, on the pool of shame.
Yep.
So if you're leaving your mess kit in the Viper and it's like fucking 10:30 and breakfast was done at 0900, that's up there.
Yeah.
At one point, I swear to Christ, I did 3 laps around the pool, like the fucking campus. I'm like, where's my mess kit? Holy fuck, where's my mess kit? I can't find my mess kit. It better not be on the pole of shame. Please, God, don't be on the pole of shame. I'd be so fucking embarrassed if my mess kit is on the pole of shame. And it's like honestly, it's like the last place that I looked because I was hoping that I wouldn't see it up there. And sure enough, I found it. It was accounted for. It was in a place where it should not have been left. It had every right to be up on the pole of shame, but it just having that anxiety of where's my shit and did I fuck up bad enough to be made an example of? That was enough incentive for me to not lose track of my mess kit ever again for the remainder of that week.
And what's great is you're not above the rules.
Right. That like if I saw it up there, I'd be mortified. But it's like, yeah, you got me. Fair.
Yeah.
It's like getting pulled over by a fucking cop. Okay. Yeah, I was speeding. I was doing 31 and a 30. Congratulations. Nice job or whatever. But
threatening to make a sign for that, and I think maybe next year is the one.
There you go.
Well-
Shrimp, you're gonna do it. You're gonna make the Pole of Shame
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Okay.
if that's what it takes, but maybe it's a part of the culture that we don't need anymore, and hopefully we don't. Still though, we should
No,
have.
Oh,
fun.
we need it.
I think what you need to
No,
make,
we
Shrimp, make
100%
it.
need
we need a better
it.
sign.
You need to make it as a basket.
A basket.
Yeah. So it's like a little a sign over a basket that we can hang on a pole.
The only thing is, if we make it a basket, it's going to be hard to see what's in it.
No. That's the best part. You just kind of pile it up in the basket.
Okay. See, I was thinking you have like a whole bunch of hooks.
Yeah, you
so
can do
it's
that.
all hanging off the
Yeah.
top of it.
Yeah, you
my
can do that too.
my
Well-
plan for the kitchen was to make
Well, we
a
can work on it.
clothesline similar to what we had the patches hanging in the PX, but with like little hooks, like little S hooks,
Yeah.
so that we could hang our little fucking utensils and our pots and pans. Because last year everybody was tying little bits of twine, and like it got old after a while to have to cut twine every
Yep.
fucking time and then cut it down.
Yep.
So if we do a Pole of Shame with that kind of idea, yeah, maybe a nice compromise makes life easier, and it gains the visibility, because that's half the point. You want to be, there's it's not an accident that the crucifixes are so fucking tall.
Right.
Not to get dark, but like that's that's by design.
All right.
And
next.
to dig me out of that hole, yes, yeah, keep it going.
Yeah,
Keep it going.
Moving on. All right, next sustain, which is the last one, which I think is retaining those new guys. So it's an improve in a way, but it's also keeping the new blood while retaining the old blood, and that's something we need to do. Like I said from the get-go, I'm like, imagine if we had our regulars arrive more, come to this event more so with all these new guys. It would have been the biggest event we've ever had. So I think that's something we need to do. I think like Randy said, I think a lot of these the guys that came from the GZA, that group, they'll return, and we'll have at least a whole squad worth of guys back from this year that were new, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, I already am sinking my teeth into a few other GZA people for next year.
Sick.
Because it's like it's like a slow process, but it's like I bring another person with me or two more people, and then it's like they see how much fun we have, and we can't stop talking about it. Then then other people want to come.
It's word
and
of
then
mouth.
It keeps spreading. It
Yeah.
keeps spreading.
So let me ask you
And
this,
then
Randy.
they tell two people, and then they tell two people, and then they tell two people. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this: would your guys be opposed to being split up, and not split up where like they're alone, but like I take 4 buddies, put them in another squad, and another 4 buddies into another squad. So like you'd see each other enough, but like during squads and patrols, it would be split up a little bit.
I don't know if they would like that. That's something I might ask them about.
Yeah.
But I'm not totally, because we're pretty close with all of us. But maybe if it's like if we were to organize it to like where like, because obviously there's people who are closer with other people, and if we
Yes.
organize that better, I feel like they would be okay with
That's
that.
the idea, and the only reason why I'm saying that is I'm just trying to like balance squads. It's not so much like splitting up buddies; it's more of balancing squads. So it's just something I'm thinking about. We can. I mean, it's a year from now. We can figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
All
And
right.
Randy, I
Go
hear exactly where you're coming from, because there's nothing worse than being stuck in a hole with like the absolute worst human being on Earth. We don't want that. I mean, hopefully we don't have the worst human beings on Earth at BAE, but to be with your buddies and to hang out with them, throughout the week versus in a hole that you dug in the mud, there might be a happy medium where they make new friends, they make old friends, they make a lot of friends in between. So like yeah, I've been there where it's like I'm doing this event, but I'm going with this guy because I
Yes.
don't trust all these other motherfuckers out there. Like I don't want some fucking douchebag chit chatting to me about what he saw on TikTok the whole time. I don't want that. I will have a miserable time. So
Yeah,
if we could like balance the power of the assets that we have, then maybe they make new friends and they're still meeting cool people like like Liam needs.
Yeah, and honestly, you think about it, Randy. If let's say they get more than a squad's worth of guys, we're gonna have to do that anyway. So, it'll be a good problem to have. Let's look at
And
it. That way.
chances are you'll end up farting in the same hole with 19 people like you had a couple years ago that I caught you.
Oh, you best believe it.
All right, let's move on to the improves. Then it's not as it's actually not as expansive as the sustains list, but really easy. We need to go back to the Saturday arrival. I think the Sunday arrival, while it didn't show, but it did hurt us a little bit not having that extra day. I think that's all there is to say about it, right? Like there's nothing else that we just need to show up Saturday. Is the Sunday late day kind of hurt us in a way, but
we felt the crunch of time. It's what put us into hyperdrive, but if we can avoid it, let's not do it.
Yep. Yeah, I'd rather be able to relax on Sunday instead of Wednesday. I mean, on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. So yeah, we felt it, but it didn't really affect us too much. More people need to show up early. This was an improve from last year, and it got worse this year. So I think, we need more people to show up early. If we want the base, we'll talk about this in other podcasts, but I'm kind of like going to start setting quotas for certain things. Like, all right, if we're only getting 5 people to show up on that first day, we're cutting this out of the base. And if it just comes down to like we don't have enough people, then we're just doing bare bones like we did. Like O'Donnell, you remember from the first Junction City, all the tents were there just to keep people shit dry. It wasn't we didn't hang out there. We would just and that's what it may come down to. And that's not really like a threat of like if I don't get my way, I'm taking my ball and going home. It's more of like we just don't. It's going to come down to where it's going to come to a point where we're just not going to want to do this, and that's what it is. That's what's driving this. Is we want to do this. We want the base. So if we're just not getting enough people to do this, then it's like, well, maybe we don't want to do this anymore. We just want to run the event the way we do. Without
or at least take a break from that particular year if we don't have the manpower to put up a medium with enough capable hands. I mean, how many? I'm curious what people think. What's the minimum number of non-military lay people it takes to set up a GP medium?
At least 8.
I'm thinking 8 minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that I think that's a great way of looking at it because I mean, if you think back to like Oregon Trail, the first time we had a trailer pulled generator and we're like logging and augering the ground for our own telephone poles and our wire system, and we're doing all of this with basically the same amount of guys that we had on like Tuesday and Wednesday. And so we had just expanded our like our scope kind of beyond the infrastructure that we have of staff guys. It just became this gigantic slog of work. So I think that being more realistic about it in the future with like, okay, here's what we can realistically do ourselves with the amount of people that we're going to be having is going to like you've said many times, like stop staff from getting smoked by like Tuesday and Wednesday, and also make us want to keep coming back and doing this.
Right, and unfortunately, it's gonna be like a week before the event's happening that we make this decision, because then it's gonna like think about this. We didn't decide on Sunday instead of Saturday this year until the Sunday before. I was actually looking back at the messages and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't let everybody know that it was going to be Sunday instead of Saturday until I think the day Strasburger and I went up to Warwick the week before. So like
Sure.
us going, yeah, no base this year, guys, is going to be a decision that's made within days of the event. So like that's why it's really important to like kind of be transparent with what you're planning. Like, hey, Liam, I got off the whole week. Awesome, I'm coming up. Yeah, great. Like I can't just be like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what day I'm coming up. What are we doing on Wednesday? Is it worth for me to come up? Like I don't need to hear that. I need to hear, yeah, I took off like because like I don't have that option. Most of the like Sabia doesn't feel like he has that option. He's like,
Fucking A.
no, I need to show up early. Because like that's it. It's like no matter what's going on, I have to show up.
I've been chomping at the bit the whole fucking time. So let me just cook for
Go
one
ahead.
hot minute. I don't get paid time off. I don't get sick leave. I'm a fucking freelancer. I'm a gig worker. If I don't work, I don't eat. And if you look at my body, yeah, I like to eat. So if I get a gig booked for Saturday afternoon, the same Saturday that all my buddies on base staff were planning to leave the storage unit like countless hours earlier, I feel like dog shit. And I say right from day, like from minute one, hey, I need this gig. I have to take this gig. I can be there later in the evening. I will pack my car. I will go to the gig with my car full of nom shit and then leave from there. That's the dedication that I would hope that more people would gravitate towards in the future. But it's not a wishy-washy thing. It's a hard. I am willing to commit this much to this group, and that's the kind of shit that I know that Liam needs. So I will deliver it to him. If I can't be there Saturday morning, I'll be there Saturday night.
Yeah, and it's not even the design need; it's just the group. You know, it's not. It's the cause. You know, I don't know. That's that. I think this is the big thing. That was the big thing this year. Was this just the lack of people in it? And when I saw it, before the setup of the base happened, I remember talking to I want to say I was talking to Pollock about it. I was like, yeah, I think we need to set like a quota or a minimum number for just events in general, but also like what we're putting into building the base. And I was like, yeah, like for fit, if we don't get 15 people, then we just cancel the event, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, maybe maybe we need to do that for things for the big event as well, where like, yeah, we're obviously going to have the big event, but it's more like, is it worth killing these 5 guys for everyone else showing up? Like, it's got to be like, okay, well, yeah, we'll set up our tents, and as other people arrive, they'll set up the tents that they're staying in, and that's the base. It's just going to be a camp. It's not. There's going to be no Viper. There's going to be no kitchen. There's going to be no. What else? I mean, it would just be
a hangout spot. I mean, that's going to suck for the people that did bring their tents, because then they're going to feel guilted into letting other people into their tents.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you going to do? Put them out in the rain? Like, of course not. So it would have to be a sliding scale, where if you don't have 15 people for fit, maybe it still happens, but we're not going to put up a GP medium or 2.
No.
It'll be a bunch of guys with a bunch of smalls, and you better make sure that you secure your rack space, your real estate, with somebody that you know is bringing a tent. And that's going to require more work for them, as opposed to BAE just rolling out the welcome mat, welcome mat, and saying, just come on in.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. I feel like we're muskratting a lot. And one of the things that I think is very important to know, especially of the people this past year, or this past event, are you don't have to show up and stay for the whole week. We had Lil J and Big J, incredibly huge shout out to them. They were troopers through the whole event, literally. But they showed up on Sunday with us, and they helped out. And we say a lot of these things like, oh my God, it's such a pain in the ass to do. And truthfully, it is. And part of our bitching is worthy. Like, yeah, we put in a lot of work and not all of it is appreciated as it should be. But like, I think we're also like just being old people boomers about it. Uh, Getting that base up is so satisfying at the end. And even if you can't show up for the full week, just making it for a day is appreciated beyond words. So like, if you were those people and we're still complaining about being tired from putting up the base, we do appreciate it and we want you guys there, even if it's only for a day or two. Like, we got pizza that night and it was great. That was the best pizza I ever had. Like, it's a lot of fun. So pardon our bitching about it. We just want you there. That's
It's
all.
not bitch. I'm looking at, yes, it's bitching, but I'm looking at it as more of a constructive thing. Like, this is the plan because we're adjusting. It's not like this sucks, just blows. Yeah, like, but it's like here we're complaining it, but it's constructive. It's like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do next year to improve it. I don't know.
It's
Right,
a
I just
fluid
don't want
thing
the-
because even if like people say I'm going to be there Wednesday afternoon and they end up being there Wednesday night, like that still affects the timetable of what the bigger picture is. And yeah, we do want people to show up early. We do want people to help. We also respect people's time off and all that kind of stuff. But if it means that the same couple of guys are getting smoked doing it, then we need to go into a slightly different self-preservation mode to keep delivering somewhat of a degree of what we had in the past so that we can keep delivering it to the people of the future. For instance, we all said that what was it, Oregon Trail, the fucking electrical grid, the telephone poles, all that fucking shit, that was like Hollywood fucking set. And that's what I keep selling people on when I talk about it. And each year since then, it's kind of been like, honestly, like a little bit less, and a little bit less. So like, I feel like
I think the
we need
opposite.
to
I think it's been less people behind it. I think we're
well, yeah,
adding-
but okay, same thing. There's less people behind it, but as a result, we have less to offer.
Well, and okay, and here's the
Oh,
confusion. Sorry, Strasburg, because this is the confusion. You have to realize, as far as what you're paying for from Broken Arrow events, you're paying for the event. You're paying for the actual patrolling. That's what the money's going towards. So like a lot of this is supplemental. And it's strictly because we want to do it. So yes, it is a selling point. Don't get me wrong. Not to be, and I don't want to be confusing, but it's
Fair.
The event
Fair.
would still happen the way it does if we had the base or not. Right? If that makes sense. And
Correct.
maybe
Right.
I'm
No,
maybe I'm
you-
short
you-
selling
thank you.
selling what we offer because yeah, we do offer that whole base for a week. But if next year it was like, yeah, we're not doing a base, the price is still the same because that's what costs the money. The tents and all that stuff, they really are essentially the cost is the manpower. It's not really money going towards that stuff.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. No. Thank you for that because it is the event that we're selling. But my personal like pitch point, my elevator pitch would be we have X, Y, and Z, and
Yeah,
that's what I
no,
try and
you're
get
not
people
wrong.
on the hook.
And I'm like I can't even say I wouldn't even say guilty is the word, but it's like yeah, I've used that. Like yeah, we're here doing a base for 10 days, man. Like it's fucking awesome, but it's work. So I don't know. It's just it's the way I felt, and it was the way I felt this year with the and not even the numbers. It was just like the staff with we had a lot of dropouts that were usual like there were guys who showed up on Sunday. There were guys who showed up on Saturday. We didn't have.
There were personalities that we felt and missed, and they were manpower assets that we missed. But in general, I still think that, and I said it last year, I'll say it again this year. I could have stayed on base another week.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
As much or as little as we offered last year or this year, however you want to look at it, I could have stayed last year for another week easily. This year for another week easily. I felt like I had all the amenities that I needed, within reason. Like,
Yeah.
did I have a outlet to charge my phone into? Maybe. If I knew who to ask, yeah. Did I have electricity in my tent? No. Could I have? Yeah. Did I have food and water? You betcha. Did I have a bathroom to go to? Yeah, definitely. Like, these are little things that they add up to a while where you get comfortable in your setting. So, telephone poles or not, I would gladly stay there an extra week.
Yep. So, all right, yeah, we'll touch on this more, and maybe we'll sound less bitchy. I know you know, Steve. Yeah, I know we probably do sound complainy, but the podcast episode I released right before, when I kind of touched on this a little bit, I think it did hit home to some people, because some people did message me and say, "Hey, I'm coming on Sunday to help out." So it did contribute to something, I guess. And like, that's kind of what we're going at, because like, you guys got to realize, we love doing this. We sacrifice ourselves every year to do this, and we just want people to be on that same page. That's all it is. So let's move on
100%.
from that. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. Oh, all right. You concur.
I do.
Okay. All right. So next improved plan of the day. We talked about that earlier. Yeah. Just, I think with more people and more stuff getting done next year, right after our talk just now, we need to do plan of the day more officially, more formally for everybody. One of the most fun I had a couple years ago was Strasburg and I running out the plan of the day every night. Remember that, Strassy?
We had the red light over us with
Yep.
the typewriter clacking away, just
Yeah, dude.
filling out the end of the day, and that was a cool little touch for me to, like, all right, we're actually making an official looking plan of the day, even though only 3 people see the actual paper we're typing on, and most of the time the information is just getting parsed down the chain of command. It was a cool little touch to be there and back away to do that.
Yeah. So let's like, next year we'll hopefully find ourselves time to do that. That's really what it came down to, right? So that's an
Yeah,
improve.
and that's one of the things that, like, again, this year, that's why it's under improved, is just taking enough time to do that. Hopefully having the manpower to be able to take the 5 minutes to go aside, and even if it's writing it in pencil, to put it down on paper somewhere, so we do have a proper plan made.
Agreed. Yeah. Okay. Next up, the garbage crew, which the garbage got done. I know I changed a few bags. I saw John do it. I apologize if anybody in this group did it. I think with Ferrucci not being there, because he's usually the sanitation man, it was missing a little bit. Him and Labasi really were the 2 guys that did it, and they just weren't here. So that's something we can improve on. I think the garbage crew next year, we just need to assign it. I believe Diamond, you had it for a little bit. I saw you change bags too. But yeah, it's just something that I think we need to put like a sergeant on or something.
Yeah, I would go around like probably twice a day, just popping my head in, well, not actually popping my head in each trash can, but just opening up, checking to see if it needed to be changed. And most of the time it was like under half full, so I didn't even bother.
Yeah.
And it was just unfortunate timing that the times that it did need to get changed, I was not around for it.
We did
That's
make
just
less
part-
garbage too,
that's
in
just
fairness,
part of the
Randy.
course,
So
though.
what'd you say, Joe?
Anytime.
Oh, go
No,
Strassy.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry. I interrupted. I just said that's par for the course. So, you turn your pot, you turn your back on a cooking pot, and then it boils over. Like, that's the way it goes.
I will give props to the troopers that did come and do it, because there were a handful of multiple different enlisted guys that came through and
Yeah.
handled it. So props to them. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I just think we need a more official detail on it. That's really the improve. Like, the garbage was never a problem. I'll say that. It was never a problem. It was just, I think we need a guy that's accountable as, like, yeah, I'm the garbage man. Even if it's not like, even if it's just one guy assigned, and it's like he's just finding 2 people to go do it, something like that. Okay. More dedicated mess crew, which was a big thing, similar to the garbage crew. I just think we just need to find somebody that would be committed to it. I know Donald mentioned that he wanted it, so I think that might be the avenue we're going with it. That Mikey's going to do
Hell yeah.
the mess crew for next year, and
I would love
Mike,
that.
it's similar. It's like you're not going to have two guys. You're not going to have two of the same guys with you, which it probably will turn out that way. But you'll be in charge of. You're kind of going to do what like Joe Napoli did, right? You're going to find two guys that a day that help you, and that's the way it will go. I just hope we get more
Yeah,
people
I love that,
showing
man.
up. I just hope we get more people showing up earlier enough to like utilize it.
Yeah. I do miss the meals during the weekend, but I understand that's a less tenable option than
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, we have a year to tweak things. I just really hope we get more people showing up early next year. It's maybe it's wishful thinking or not, and then a lot of things come into play because we'll have the kitchen set up earlier. We'll have it operational earlier. So, um, it's an easy fix. It's just I think a guy dedicating himself to it. What I want though, for especially for your experience at the event, Mike, is you're not the fucking chef the whole time. You It should not affect your patrolling. You get what I'm saying? Like come Friday, the kitchen's shut down because you're not there anymore. You're not staying behind on patrols to make fucking cookies for everybody. You're still going out. You're still doing your thing.
Yeah, obviously that was like an option when we had, you know, essentially like pogues,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for somebody like me, that's it's just working out all that behind the scenes for what
Right.
we want to do for the staff meals all week and how to have fun with that and make it an easy and light thing,
Yes.
and as like painless as possible.
Yeah.
And that way you're delivering dirty dishes to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully less of them.
Yeah.
When there was like a
Let's
3-pot
fucking-
meal for the Christmas dinner, and there's like 10 pots. I'm like, hey, what's going on here, guys?
Let's 3 tried mashed potato pots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This pot is too small. This pot is too big.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of guessing and scrambling.
Yeah.
Goldilocks on the pots here.
Yeah. And okay, so this is something that somebody mentioned on a few occasions was the unit discipline and how over the last few years it's kind of gone down. And I chalked it up last year to being like, oh, it's like the Sigi Force kind of thing. And this year I was like, oh, maybe it's the 1970s era where maybe I let it go a little bit because it was like, it's the 70s. So like, the unit disposition was, or, the military disposition was lower than if it was in 67. But next year, now that we're going back to 68, I think we need to like kind of not be hard asses, but
Oh, is that official?
what's that?
Is that official? We're doing 68?
Yeah,
Nice.
May 68. So I mean, Steven, we talked about it a little bit where we were like nice because we didn't want to hurt feelings and I don't know. I feel like we can be a little more immersively strict. Is that a good way of saying it, or immersively?
Absolutely. I think we've hit a minimum bar now, and all of the new guys we had that go back and tell their buddies, like the expectation of what we accept at a minimum is there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say accept. Like there's things that we could talk about it in improves or lows that are not acceptable that happened, but at least now we can always build up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I think the minimum is there, so people know like this is what we got to hit. And then we can be hard asses, but they know that we still like them.
Yeah,
Man, I can't wait to deliver the same status that I delivered last week, but for next year, and then see how people criticize me. I can't fucking wait.
I think we at the AAR, the index powwow. I think there was a lot of good feedback that guys were more than fine with the level that we brought, and I think for next year we tighten up and get a little a little more disciplined from beginning to end.
Like 10% more, not anything drastic. Like
No.
just
Not
enough.
nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
some of the stuff that we saw that we let go because we're like, are we being too hard? We tighten up on that and hold a good rapport throughout the entire week.
Right. We don't want to do it to sacrifice that, you know? And that's why I think the Christmas and the baseball game it did help with that, but we never really like turned back on the all right, now it's time to I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I did appreciate
I think I know what you're trying to say at Liam, but like for me, the Wednesday night party or whatever night, like the band performance or whatever it happens to be, the casino night, you know,
right.
bringing back all the big like camaraderie moments. That's my chance as a hard ass to let my hair down, and I feel like I kind of, you know, I feel like I get to enjoy a little bit out of character as well for those days.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully people notice that I'm not fucking a douchebag about their mustaches or their haircuts or whatever. Like for those couple of hours, hopefully people notice that, and
Well, that's
that
the idea.
yeah, like we're all just doing this for the fun of it. Like nobody's taking this shit super seriously. I could have gone to West Point out of high school and I didn't for a reason. Like no, this is supposed to be fun for everybody. So
Yeah.
if I feel like or if you feel like the listener you know, if we're being too hard, let us know. Like we can adjust some stuff, but I do feel like being a professional military brigade at a point and like a point geographically and time wise, we need to be a little bit of a hard ass. We are not a company or a brigade of you know, draft dodgers or drug abusers. We are the military professionals. We're going to look and act the part accordingly.
Right. I did appreciate everyone's saluting Paulak and I.
Diamond was one of the best at that. Across the entire fucking base, I would lock eyes with him and he would already be in a salute. Loved it.
Yeah, like the best is when I was serving dinner and everyone's saluting me. I'm like, I'm like a kitchen bitch now. You don't have to salute me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was my fault.
No, I thought it was hilarious.
I made it a point to have everybody salute you guys when they came in to grab their chow.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't so much a punishment for the company, it was a punishment for the officers that would have to render the salute.
Dude, I would have like a ladle of mashed potatoes in my hand. And I'm like, oh, hang on, I got to salute with that.
No, so that's
I started
me,
saluting
me
set
looking out-
lefty.
That's me looking out for my men as platoon sergeant. Like, let's see if we could turn this as a punishment to the higher ups and see if we can get this squashed. So, if Randy was still rendering his salutes days after, I don't know, man. We got to talk because that was not on my plan for the day.
No, it was funny. It was funny. So I didn't mind. It was just like, yeah, like as Steven said, he's like, yeah, I started saluting with my left hand. Like I was just saluting with like the ladle spoon, you know, the spoon on my head. Like, yep.
That's something right out of MASH, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Next year, Liam, we reply with finger guns.
All right. I like that. Okay. Next item I had was we just don't want to sacrifice the main staff's time, which we talked about a lot, so I'll skip that for now. One thing we were missing was a sick bay. Thankfully, we really didn't need it. I think the closest to someone needing some kind of medical attention was Stramp, covered in poison ivy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it freaked the everybody else out more than me.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, it was the most comfortable thing, but yeah.
It would have been nice to have like Valen looking at it or you know, lubing you up.
Yeah.
With,
certainly.
Yeah.
But
So
honestly, I was able to steal some appointment or something like that from officer country, and I was plenty taken care of.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, honestly, Stramp, I feel like if you had come to me a day earlier, I would have felt better about you and given you like every, because I have 3 first aid kits whenever I go to an event. I have one on me, one that I give to the captain, and one that I give to some schmuck. So we had plenty of ointments and gauze. We could have kept that shit from probably getting to the blister point that you had. And that would have made me felt better about having to lug all that shit and then like getting to use it. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad to hear
brought.
that it wasn't as bad, for the feels of you than for the looks of us. But I still would have been happier having known that you were suffering and that I could
No,
help.
that's the thing. I wasn't hurting that bad, to be quite honest. It looked a lot worse than it was.
Well, that's
And
good.
it was blistering. I got it Wednesday. I noticed it Wednesday night, and it was already blistering. So there was nothing that anybody was going to be able to do about it.
That's
So
some quick acting poison ivy, man.
Yeah.
yeah, I still don't
think
know
about it, I still
how.
have it now. Like I still have outbreaks of it now, a week after.
Yeah.
Like it. So it's
I
yeah,
think
that was
that
quick.
I have it on my poncho that I use as a ground cloth for Mike Force. And I
Yeah.
know that because after I balled it up and folded it on fucking Monday morning, this week, this month, I started getting a little itchy. So, do you think it was from this year or like sorry, do you think it was from the August event or do you think it was from Mike Force and it was just latent or do you have that ability to like trace back your gear? Because that would help like wash and scrub that you don't get it. Because that shit, I looked it up. I thought that Mueller was bullshitting me when he told me a couple years ago that the only time he gets poison ivy is when he touches his rock.
Hmm.
And that shit, that sap will last over a year on your gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Uh,
It's very possible it was poncho or something like that, but everything's getting hosed off. I know that much. So
hit it with rubbing alcohol. I mean,
yeah,
had I known earlier, I would have given you. I brought a bunch of rubbing alcohol, and then I gave you that aloe on Sunday.
yeah,
That's
it was all
it's
very
a high-end
appreciative.
item, but having like I wish it had been more benuenced to me to help you out there.
Yeah, we all would have helped out with the rolled gauze and the tape and all that kind of shit to keep it from infecting and like, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, no,
that just
understood.
reinforces the point of yeah, we needed a dedicated medical for like we've had with Valen in the previous years. Sorry, Shrimp, I don't want to cut you off.
Just someone to
No, I
slap
was
some.
just gonna say, I wasn't really worried about it getting infected or anything like that, but anyway, yeah,
But
it
in
certainly
the
could have
grand
hurt.
scheme of things, from when I
Mhm.
first said it, it's like you were the worst, and that's a pretty good year.
Yeah, which
If you're the
if
worst one we've had,
if that's the way, yeah,
yeah,
we're doing good.
for sure. All right, so that's it for the sustains and approved. That's wow, 2 hours of talking about that. Congratulations, you've made it 2 hours into this podcast, which is a 3-hour podcast of us talking about Operation Greene Lightning. So this will be part 1, and I will be adding part 2 later on with an hour of funny stories from the event and what we have planned for next year. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in part 2.
If you don't come correct, I'm gonna find you.